Welcome back, everyone, to the complete Pineleaf. Last time, our prisoner escaped, though he wasn't much of a prisoner, I guess, considering that he was doing whatever he wanted and just sowing seeds of dissent. Now, what are we going to do after all this loss?
What do you need?
There are no words, Pineleaf, for the evil Mordrenbor has done this day. I thought we had seen the last of the grief he could cause, but the treachery that sent Laridan willingly to his doom is as naught compared to the sorrow I feel for the loss of my kindred. Kol Hamnir, Karkam Madel, Tadan, too many lives lost, and in the very heart of the place we held safest. How could Angmar strike us even here? We cannot search for Narquil now, Pineleaf. Mordrenbor has dealt a fatal strike against my kindred, and we must rest. My people need time to grieve. They cannot fight on forever in the face of such losses. I'm sorry.
What can I do for you?
My people need time to mourn, Pineleaf, or they will be unable to continue the fight. The greatest weapon Angmar wields in this war is hopelessness, an overpowering dread that seizes the hearts of good folk and saps their will to stand against evil. It has been brought to bear here in Tinadir with terrible success. I have set my brethren to gathering stones from anemones with which they may construct the cairns of our fallen kindred. If you will travel to the great city and help with the collection of these city stones, I know that Tadan, Kolamir, and Karkamanel will all be honored by your service to their memory. Very well. To Anemones. This looks like a suitable stone, and soon we should have enough to build a cairn that I hope will be suitable for those who were lost while defending us here in Anuminous, or of course watching Mordrenbor. So much loss. So much to avenge. Hopefully we'll have a spare moment before we must resume our search and find Narquil. Where do you need these stones?
What can I do for you?
These will do nicely, Pineleaf, and I thank you for your gesture. There will still no word from Torangir or Galthoniel. It seems that Amarthiel, too, has been delayed in the beginning of her search. Or she busies herself with celebrating the escape of Mordrenbor and the deaths of my people. We will have our vengeance upon them both, but the time of its coming arrives too slowly.
What do you need?
It is time, Pineleaf. There is a place not far from here of which Carcamil was particularly fond in his life, Barad Roth, an overlook crowned in the ruins high above the Lake Nunuel. That the tomb robbers have made frequent use of it is a sorrow to her. We have decided to build the cairns for our fallen kindred on its crest. Will you join us in remembering the fallen and add a stone to their cairn? Speak with me when you're ready, and we'll depart. Very well. Let's go. Too many of the Dunedain have fallen to the ravages of one who is their distant kinsman. There is a time for mourning, but is this that time when the champion of Angmar might secure her ring, Narquil? We'll have to find that out.
What do you need?
The air is chill, and my heart is heavy with sorrow. All battles bring grief in their train, but beyond the veil of sadness lies the hope of victory. Pineleaf, it is time. What news of the tomb robbers? We have driven them off of this place, and they will not return. Pineleaf, I have a request of you. What else is new? Yes? We go now to build the cairns over our fallen kinsmen, Dunedain all. I want you to place the capstone on each of the cairns, Pineleaf. Okay. The capstones. I know that you are of hobbit kind and no Dunedain, but I feel that it is right. Our people must stand together, even in grief. Bit of a sign of solidarity, then. A little bit of a funeral procession. There are the cairns. My friends, we have come to Barad Roth to the sorrow of the loss of 3 of our own. Their names will always be remembered. Tadon, Colomir, and Carcarion. Forcon, if you will begin. I knew Calcaminel for many years before he came here. She spoke often of Anuminus. I wish she could have seen it retaken. I did not have the opportunity to know Kirkhamedel very well. I curse Angmar for depriving me of it. Pineleaf, if you would, place the final stone on Kirkhamedel's cairn. I don't know how many different ways I could pronounce her name. Our losses have been severe, our pain great. But the Dunedain fight on. Astuio, if you please. You can always count on Colmanir for a laugh no matter when. I remember once when I was cleaning a vase, it slipped from my fingers and shattered. Colcamir wanted to bury the pieces so that I would have an ancient relic to dig up days hence. He laughed and laughed. Colmir was quick to laugh, but he knew the importance of the Dunedain. We will avenge my friend. Pineleaf, the capstone of Colcamir's cairn, please. Right. Next. There will always be losses in war. And yet, there is one among us who can put an end to our long sorrow. The line of kings remains unbroken, and with that knowledge, our fallen kin will be at peace. Kuguminio, please. Oh, good grief. These names, whee! No words of mine can do justice to Tadon's memory. He volunteered always for the thankless tasks with no thought for himself. The world will be poor without him in it. Be at peace, my brother. The capstone of Tadon's cairn is all that remains. And a capstone. There you go. Wait! Look! There! What? A bird! A messenger raven. This is Fleetwing, the raven of Toragethir. Amartheel's forces are marching through the Ivendim gate. It has begun.
What can I do for you?
Toragathir has done as he has said he would, for this is his raven Fleetwing. Amarthiel's troops are leaving this land by the Evendim Gate. We must depart this place, Pineleaf. I thank you for attending my people, and for your part in remembrance of our fallen kin. What now?
How can I be of service?
I thank you again, Pineleaf. You did not know Tadon for long, but he was a good man, and I know he appreciated your visits, despite the dangerous tenor of the duty in which you found him. I do not blame him for what happened, and I ask that you do not as well. Mordrenbor has ensnarled folk greater than you or I. I fear that my people will be able to fight once again, and with renewed determination. We will not forget what Mordrenbor and Amarthiel have done, but neither shall we wallow in our grief. Our vengeance, when it comes, shall be magnified tenfold by our losses, and they will regret their misdeeds.
Greetings.
I had hoped we would learn something of Narquil that might aid us in fighting it before the Angrim, but that hope, like so many others, has been dashed. We have been delayed by Mordrenbor, and must now follow Amarthiel's forces eastward, where I had hoped to stay before them. No matter! There are many tall hills between here and the wilderness of the Trollshalls, and if we must follow, then we will do so knowing what to expect. You should leave Avendem, heading east, and pass through the fields of Fornost. A short distance northeast of Trestlebridge stands the great hill of Amon-Rith. Stand at its peak and look eastward. If you see the Agrim ahead of you, continue to Amon-Sul, which is called Weathertop by many in the Lonelands, and do the same. Look eastwards from the summit. I am worried that the Angrim may attack villages along the way. By scouting their position from the heights, you will be able to learn of their progress and follow them wherever they are headed. Very well. To Amon-Rith. One of the nice things about Amon-Rith, of course, is that there is a stable master right here. Now let's have a look to the... Oh, that's the east that way. All right. Anything down this way? Far to the east, a cloud of dust marks the passage of the Angrim. Yep, they're to the east, all right. Now then, let's go to Weathertop. Ah, Weathertop, where I found a good number of things, including the number of Kraban and Floyd and DeWitt over there. But right now I need to look east and see if I can see any sign of the Angrim. Far to the east, a company of Angrim crosses the last bridge. Well then, they're in the Trollshalls now. Whee! This may be a silly question, but did you see an army of Angrim run by?
How can I be of service?
You're seeking the Angrim that passed this way not long ago? I saw them coming from a great distance and managed to hide myself before they arrived. I feared I would be found, for at the head of their number marched a man of great evil, a black Numenorian, if I do not miss my guess. It seems to me that he stared right at my hiding place, but at just that moment he was interrupted by some thought that caused him to turn his gaze off into the distance to the west. I know not what it was, but he shortly resumed his march, and the company passed into the east. Your face tells me that you have had dealings with this man, and the memory is full of sorrow. From what I overheard, it seems that their course lay to the south, among the cheerless lands of the Talbruinen. My sister Candeleth has a camp up in the Talbruinen. Yes, I've been there already. Then tell Candeleth of the Angrim that have come to these lands of her watch, Tell her as well to be wary. I fear to think what errand could have brought this black Numenorian so near to Imladris. Oh, you're better off not knowing, that's for sure. Let's find Candaleth. Hello again, Candaleth. Your sister sends her greetings.
What can I do for you?
You bring warning from my sister that the Agrim have come to Tal Bruinen? Her warning is welcome, but my scouts have already encountered the enemy. Do you know why they have come to this place? Can you tell me what brings them to these woods so far from their evil homeland? Yet to search for their evil ring, that's all I can say.
Mind my words, traveler.
Your story fills me with concern, Pineleaf. Tal Bruinen is a dark and wooded land, and this ring for which Amarthiel seeks could be anywhere. If the Angrim have some guidance as to its location that we do not, I can see little chance that we will find it first. My scouts tell me that the Angrim seem particularly interested in the small ruins that dot the landscapes of the Tal Bruinen. If you could journey to some of these ruins and defeat the searching Angrim, I will contemplate upon possible places where a ring such as Narquil could have been lost. I fear this errand may be hopeless, Pineleaf, but perhaps Narquil, if it is within the wooded lands at all, will evade the Angrim as well. Wonderful. So, defeat Angrim scouts and searchers. Yep, let's go. The first time I was in this area, I was trying to avoid the Angrim under any circumstances. But now it's time to go after them. I could even ambush one. They still have a level advantage, but I have a Pineleaf advantage. Well, at least the advantage of having done all those deeds to get my virtues up. And then I have some decent gear for a change, which is definitely not a given on all my characters. And there's one of the scouts. Now there should be another scout around here somewhere. Oh, Scouty! I don't need that book. I need a scout. A sneaky scout it is. I think that scout must have run away, just hearing of my presence. Ah, another one's nearby, though. Yes, that is a searcher. There we go. Let's deal with him first. But there's only one scout in this area, so therefore that means we have to find 6 scouts, even though there's only one scout per location with the searcher. How is that? How's that fair? Actually, no, there are 2 scouts here. Oh, actually, there seems to be an extra one here. Okay, good. That'll make up for the first one that had only a single searcher at it. A single scout, I meant. And I think maybe I should have a little something to eat before I go on. Because now I need to find... Oh, that's why there was an extra one, because there is a searcher here. Ha! Good thing there aren't any line of sight rules or anything like that, because how am I going to throw a javelin through all that mess? No idea. Hopefully one of these is carrying some useful information, but at the very least, he would have slowed down Amarthiel's search, I hope. I hope that slowed them down.
What do you need?
You have done your part, but I must confess that my list of possible hiding places for the ring Narquil is very short. I will tell you of them, and let you judge for yourself if they seem to be reasonable to you. What are these places, And does one of them have Narquil? We'll have to find that out in the next episode of The Complete Pine Leaf.